This is build up. This is purely a build up. Not exactly the clash of titans, the size of India Pakistan game, but of course, this is a significant game between India and Bangladesh. Um, and of course, we are here to talk about that game itself because it's a significant game. This is a series opener. And the past few games, if you have been looking at, especially India and Bangladesh, they have been highly charged game, emotional game, I must say. And this is special because the stakes are higher, the stage is larger. This is the ICC Champions Trophy. Hello and welcome. My name is Pratham. Welcome to the FPJ. And on this very, very special segment, which is the ICC Absolute Champions Trophy special, and with the FPJ Sports Desk team. And joining me now, my colleague, commentator, author, coach, Sandeep Athavale is alongside me. Athavale sir, are you right alongside me? Pankaj Athavale joins me.
Yes. I Pratham, really
My
nice
colleague
to.
Sandeep is not alongside me, so I thought Sandeep will be joining me. Sorry. Pankaj
I know
Athavale.
you.
Also, Kabir joins me, our very own Kabir. He's off the news desk today just for
Yeah.
the love of the game. Kabir, thank you so much for joining us,
Yeah, I
gentlemen.
just hope I'm audible. Yeah.
And India versus Bangladesh, which is happening tomorrow, and we're doing this special segment, of course. And past few games, as I said in my introduction, India and Bangladesh have been emotionally charged games. This is not exactly a fierce contest like battles between India and Pakistan, but a significant one at that. Your take, Pankaj.
Yeah, hi Pratham, hi Kabir, and everyone
Right.
out there who are watching us. I think you see India Bangladesh is always a very interesting matchup because Bangladesh, they are the one-day side which generally irritate a couple of other sides. And what you see is Bangladesh cricket team is a very emotionally charged team. Sometimes they go so overboard that they forget that they're playing cricket and they're in the match. So it's a very a funny thing, and I always believe, see, cricket is all about characters on the field. We have become very professional and stuff like that, but we need those kind of characters, good, bad, ugly things happening. And Bangladesh probably are the epitome of emotional characters. So I think it's going to be a very interesting matchup.
Absolutely. And it is going to unfold like it's a significant game because it's an opener game for both the sides. And the crowd, of course, I mean, given the size of Indian diaspora, where it is
Yeah.
held, that serves a very, very important element there in this tournament. Kabir, what do you have to say about the venue?
So I think the venue is very. First of all, am I audible clearly?
You're absolutely audible. Go ahead. Go
Okay,
right
so
ahead.
good. The Wi-Fi gods have been kind. We have to always pray to them. So, anyways, as far as the venue is concerned, obviously it's very interesting because it's in Dubai. So, obviously, a predominantly Indian population, but also a lot of Bangladeshis. So, as far as the support is concerned, for both the teams, that's going to be there. But again, as far as India is concerned, definitely, I think it'll be like a 70-30 sort of a thing. And the rest, of course, the ones who are from naturally from Dubai will have to see who they are supporting. But I think the India's chants are going to really drown out the others because once we start chanting and get into the game and get into the passion of it, we really don't listen to what the others are saying or doing. So that's what I feel as far as the crowd is concerned. Pankaj, what about you? Do you think there are going to be any other factors involved?
No, I think the crowds, of course, as you mentioned, the diaspora there from all Asian countries will be there, and Asians love cricket, so they'll all be there. And the Ring of Fire, the huge ground, it's going to be like a colosseum, and good to see for India because India will be playing these two matches in that week, and by the end of this week, we'll be getting to know whether we qualify for the semis or not.
Allow me to
And
enter
Pankaj,
this
just
conversation.
one thing which I've been wanting to ask you for a very long time. Pratham, sorry, I just one thing which I've been wanting to ask
Go right
Pankaj.
ahead, Kabir.
Pankaj, I'm sorry.
Go right ahead.
Yeah, no, Pankaj, I have this differing opinion, okay, about Kohli, right? I feel are we too, as a nation, as a media, as a social media, as fans, are we too critical of Kohli? Yes, there are going to be downs, there are going to be ups, etc. But the moment, those 2, 3 matches happen, everybody just goes crazy. Yeah. I mean, sorry if I'm sounding like Hrithik Roshan, but that's the way it is.
This is
We
Kabir
will
and
take that point.
Pratham.
We'll address that point, of course. But
Okay.
we need to take a look at the group at this moment. The reason why I say this
Yeah.
because India is coming right off that success against England in the home series, as opposed to
Yeah.
Bangladesh. Bangladesh were not quite lucky against the West Indies,
Hmm.
so that will play out itself as far as the emotional quotient of this game goes. Before we move along, let's take a look at these two groups, Group A as well as Group B of the Champions Trophy. Group A, right alongside, you can see India, Bangladesh, they're right alongside, and then you have Pakistan and New Zealand, as opposed to Group B, where you have Afghanistan, England, Australia, South Africa. So you have two rivals right up there, England and Australia in Group B, as opposed to Group A, you have India and Pakistan. Bangladesh is one of the favorites. So the way it plays out is quite interesting, isn't it? Just look at this group, and that tells you a story, doesn't it?
Pretty much, guys, normally in a Champions Trophy or a World Cup scenario, we look for the group of death. But do you realize both of them are group of deaths? Because, New Zealand has been in great form. They have won the Tri-Series recently. Their Australia probably looking good. So both, it's going to be really heartbreaking every day because someone or the other, some good team or the other is going to go down. And that's the best part about Champions Trophy.
How significant therefore it is, as we have taken a look at the group, how significant it is therefore to win the first match, to be
Yeah.
able to break the ice, so to speak. Entering any tournament, the stature, the size of which is as big as the ICC Champions Trophy, how important it is for both the teams, to start off, to kick off the campaign on the winning note. Kabir.
Uh,
Very frankly speaking, again, I fall into that very meager population who feels that even if they lose the first match or they win the first match, it's really not going to make a difference. It's of course the passion for the game which really, and now of course because of social media, and trending hashtags and whatnot, that stuff things are sort of blown out of proportion. But at the end of the day, the first match is forgotten many a time. It's basically what's going to happen right at the end if you make it into the finals, if you make it into the proper league stage, or how well you do. That's what I feel. Pankaj, what do you feel?
I think it basically depends on a team. Every team has a different type of workload or the way they kind of move ahead. India can't afford to, as Kabir mentioned, because of the whole social media and the fan following. India can't afford to lose the final, neither they can't afford to lose the first match. So they have to go on winning. So you realize this, that it's a problem for us because we don't taste that issue or the bitterness early on, and then like the 2023 ODI World Cup final, something like that happens. Australia, on the other hand, or New Zealand, on the other hand, they are kind of teams, they really start very badly and then they peak so well that they end up winning the ICC tournament. And that is what we got to see if that pattern continues in this Champions Trophy.
Wait and watch is the call of the hour. Of course, we're going to see how this unfolds. But of course, you want to start any campaign on a winning note, no matter what, and that can serve as a snowball effect for the consecutive matches. And therefore, winning is important. The first game itself. We're going to take a look at the squad now, India's squad. Our showrunner Imran, can you take us to the squad? Yeah.
You right on it.
Yeah. So we have Rohit.
So that's a squad for you.
Yeah.
You can see Captain Rohit Sharma is leading from the front. Then you have Shubman Gill, who's a huge prospect there. Virat Kohli, of course, he's not been in a form, but he would be absolutely hungry to unleash his talent over there. Shreyas Iyer, KL Rahul, Rishabh Pant, Hardik Pandya, Akshar Patel, Washington Sundar, an interesting name there. Kuldeep Yadav, too much expectations from him too. And then you have someone like Arshdeep Singh who can spring a surprise or two. So much is riding on his shoulders too. Then you have Mohammad Shami, Ravindra Jadeja. This team looks absolutely interesting and in control. What is your take, Mr. Expert Pankaj Athare?
So I'll club Kabir's question in that. Try to understand. We have Rohit and Virat still there, because of which Yashasvi Jaiswal missed the bus. So that's what you got to remember. He has a big future, no doubt about it. But Shubman Gill, Shreyas Iyer, KL Rahul. These guys are ODI players. Their game suits the ODI format, so it's going to be good. But see, Kuldeep is coming back from an injury, so that's going to be interesting. Harshit Rana, I found him really very good, but I am still not able to find that X factor in him, because a fast bowler needs to have that zing, and somewhere I feel Harshit needs to kind of come up. So it'll be a take between Shami and Harshit Rana, or Mohammad Shami and Arshdeep. So that's going to be an interesting take depending on the Dubai track that is there. And so with so many spinners, I only have one issue. With so many spinners, remember one thing, Indian team has always suffered because a captain has never been able to use 4 fast bowlers simultaneously, or 3 or 4 spinners together. It's always been a problem. So it's the captain of the team who has to use the resources properly. Rohit is a typical Mumbai guy, but I think his captaincy is on the wane right now. So probably India are looking at a few issues as they go ahead in the tournament.
As we go right along ahead, you tell me, please, Kabir, who are your personal favorites? Who are you counting on as far as this squad goes? Top three players from this list.
I mean, definitely counting on Kohli because, frankly speaking, I belong to that era where I used to watch cricket because of Sachin. Then I left watching cricket, and then sometimes I watch cricket mostly because of Kohli. So, if I'm going to be watching this match, it's definitely because of Kohli. I certainly feel that as far as Arshdeep and Shami are concerned, I have this sort of a thought that they just might really sort of end up impressing everybody through this game. That's what I feel. Rohit, of course, I feel will do decently well. But yeah, so it's basically Kohli, Shami, and Arshdeep. Let's see what happens here because I mean clearly in India we've got so many commentators who we keep talking so much about this, but bottom line तो उनको ही जाके खेलना है इन लोग को.
Pankaj, my top, I mean, if you ask my pick, then I would be like Shubman Gill is like, I mean, I'm counting heavily on him. Of course, you have Virat Kohli because he's not been in form and he needs that Midas touch, so to speak, that he's known for. Whatever he touches turns into goal. We desperately want, and of course, Virat, of course, must be sharing the same sentiment. We want him to show that much needed bounce back. Then you have, of course, Arshdeep Singh, who's known for springing a surprise into, and of course you have Akshar Patel over there. So it's a mix that is as potential as it is surprise, surprise serving. What is your take? Who are your personal favorites? Top three.
I think, as you said, Shubman, Shreyas are the two which I'm looking forward to because they will perform consistently because the 50-over format suits them. They will do well. Probably Akshar and Kuldeep will also do well because Kuldeep further on, as we play the Group B teams, that will be useful. But I think Shubman and Shreyas are the ones whom I'm banking on.
Let's take a look at Bangladesh squad now because interesting names there. Though they could not defeat the West Indies, but there were certain stars who showed their potential in a manner that was absolutely worthy a deco. So let's take a look at these names. I must start with Pankaj here. Who are the players you are looking forward to as far as this squad goes? There are promising names there who showed their potential, who showed their skills, who showed resilience. Which are the names you're counting on as far as this squad that we see on the screen so right now?
See, Bangladesh have a talismanic player called Mehdi Hasan Miraj. He is, I tell you, one of the finest all-rounders. If he wasn't in Bangladesh, he would have been a top player in any other country. God knows why, Mehmudullah was someone whom I saw many years back as that kind of a player. He was wasted and he's still being wasted. And he's still there in the squad after being 36, 37. But Mehdi Hasan Miraj, he can be an opening batter for you. He can open the off-spin bowling for you also. And he's been damn successful. But I don't know whether they'll use it or not. So he's someone who's going to be very interesting. Taskin Ahmed, a very, very fantastic bowler. Mustafizur has lost his fizz a bit in the last few years. But this guy called Nahid Rana, he is express. So he can kind of spring up a bit of a surprise. But once again, Bangladesh will again come back to their slow bowling as they have been traditionally being using. So they'll try to kind of get those Rishad Hussain leg spinner, Mehdi Hasan Miraj, and the slow. So 40 overs you say, or maybe 38 overs, slow bowlers, baki sare fast bowlers. इनका standard format रहेगा.
India
But I
Bangladesh
like
conference.
one interesting thing which you said about Mehdi, because interestingly, historically, Bangladesh has been responsible for some pretty legendary all-rounders. I mean, Shakib Al Hasan definitely comes to mind immediately, right? So, yeah, I mean, what you said about Mehdi, I totally agree with you on that. That's it.
I mean, what happened, we know how it all started, how it unfolded. That one last ball six by Dinesh Karthik that changed the complete trajectory of the way in which Bangladesh game is perceived in India. And the way it is geopolitically unfolding now, will that effect also show as far as the emotions run high on the ground goes? Kabir, what is your take? We are not delving deep into the political issues, but how it is playing out on the political landscape may affect the way in which India Bangladesh game is seen by the crowd. What is your take?
Personally, I don't feel. I think personally, as far as the geopolitical situation goes and history goes, it's always India, Pakistan, which runs at fever pitches. I understand what you're saying with regards to whatever has happened in Bangladesh over the last 6 to 7 months, but I don't really think that's going to rub over on the match. But I think Pankaj may or may not disagree with me. Pankaj, what do you think?
Yeah, this will happen momentarily if Bangladesh bowl and they get 4 5 wickets and suddenly they send something. See, Bangladesh crowd is, you go anywhere, you go to the US, you go to the UK, anywhere. Bangladeshis are damn emotional. So the moment they get an opportunity, suddenly they'll start doing this. The moment you
Nagin
have three four,
dance.
the
Nagin
moment
dance. Who
yeah
can
yeah
forget the Nagin dance? Yes.
moment India goes down 3 4 wickets, and the crowd there, the diaspora in Dubai who are from Bangladesh, they'll have their moment of glory only for that particular time, and then it'll just wane off because I don't think Bangladesh has enough firepower to take over India in the ODIs.
Pankaj, how this game must be viewed by Team India, the men in blue. The reason why I ask this question is because, of course, India Pakistan is a high voltage game. Everybody is looking forward to. Do you think a possible setback? I don't want to say it aloud, but a possible setback in the first game itself. Should India be concerned over there? Of course, we all want to start, as I said before, also on a winning note. But if things do not turn out the way we want to, should India be concerned over there, or should India be cautious? Should India play their natural game? What is your analysis of the whole scenario and the situation so far?
I think Pratham, India will go all guns blazing. They of course it's the first game. India always have had hiccups, but they'll be confident enough because India has enough firepower. Because as Kabir also mentioned, I don't see Rohit Sharma going beyond 50, 60 runs. He'll come tuck, tuck, tuck. He'll get those quick runs, and we have enough batting deep down to kind of recover if anything goes wrong. But I think the Dubai pitch will be again quite flat. Unless Bangladesh spring up a surprise in a couple of wickets here and there, I don't think India should be too worried. They'll just go with the full attack plan, and they should be able to kind of roll over. Not maybe very easily, but comfortably.
Your top four team from both the squads,
That's
from
interesting.
Group
Now,
A as
see,
well as Group B. Does Bangladesh feature there? Because I posed this question to many experts, and they were of the opinion that Bangladesh does feature in their list. Who are, I don't want to influence your decision. I do not want to influence your list, your top favorite teams. But if we take a look at both the groups, A as well as B, who are the top four?
See, right now, New Zealand, amongst all, looks the most balanced side on paper. Hopefully, Rachin Ravindra should recover, and they have someone like a Matt Henry, Daryl Mitchell, Glenn Phillips. On paper, New Zealand is my Champions Trophy winner for this as of now. But I see South Africa coming up very, very quietly behind, with the Miller, Klaassen, and Aiden Markram, and with Bavuma in. So New Zealand and South Africa are the two teams that I definitely see in the top four. India definitely should make it probably here and there. But I am really concerned about India's bowling. Will there be enough? But then what will happen? India kind of compensates with so much of runs. They'll put 350 on the board, and then it becomes quite difficult. So these
But
three are
hang on
there.
a second.
Yeah.
That should be an area of concern, in my opinion, because you have Kuldeep Yadav, you also have Sir Jadeja in it, you have Shami, you have Akshar Patel. So there are many surprises over there.
Yeah, but see,
You also have
Kuldeep
Ashdeep.
is.
So the bag is mixed and very, very interesting.
No, but Kuldeep is coming back from an injury. Shami, he's not the Shami of two,
True.
3 years back. I mean, these are only things because you never know on a given day something goes wrong. But I think India, South Africa, New Zealand are the three ones I can see. Now, I feel probably England or Australia because see, Australia is so maverick. Even though Stoinis is not there, Cummins is not there, Mitchell Stark is not there, they don't have a great bowling attack. But we have seen in the ODI World Cup also, they were kind of dropping about 5 catches average per match, and suddenly they go on. Mr. Travis Head is someone who can give everyone a bit of a headache.
True.
Yeah,
True.
so either England, Australia, but otherwise India, South Africa, New Zealand.
Kabir, for you, top four teams from both the groups, A as well as B.
India, Pakistan, New Zealand, Australia. These four I'll go with, and I'm putting my bet on Australia for the change. Yeah, I mean I'm not saying that they should win, but I just have a feeling that like Pankaj was saying, adding to that, this time really they just might pull through right till the end and go for the victory.
And of course, I mean, India, of course, the way we lost in Australia, but then the huge bounce back. in home series against England, what kind of mental advantage does it serve? Of course, you know that you could not beat Australia in their own den, but in our own den, which is very, very close to Dubai, we are absolutely, absolutely the winners in terms of how we perform, the way we compose ourselves, our mental strength, our skills, and the passion for the game. All these aspects, culminated to form a very, very positive impact, so to speak. Pankaj, how do you see that amalgamation of all these factors coming in? We are playing very close to our home, which is Dubai. We are going to get a support like Indian diaspora turns up in a huge number. What advantage do we have apart from these?
Pratham, the Indian batting is something which is going to be very, very impressive, and that will probably roll over. But again, just try and understand this whole Champions Trophy. We don't have a West Indies and a Sri Lanka in the top eight, so we are missing
Correct.
out on certain characters. But India with Dubai, I think they're used to these kind of surfaces. Once in a while, I'm not concerned about the initial phase all the way till the semi-finals. I'm only concerned if India goes in the finals. Now that is where the jinx and everything comes up. बाकी no worries for India at all. Crowd, batting, bowling सब हो जाएगा. I'm only worried at that last step.
You said last step. I want to take a look at that slide. Our showrunner is
Pankaj
showing
already
us
knows that we're reaching the
India
finals,
made
which is good news.
Bangladesh.
Yeah.
India made Bangladesh last. We won that game by 9 wickets, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So that last game in the Champions Trophy, does it act like a driving factor? Does it act like an advantage, or every single time it's a fresh chapter? It's a new game. There we go. Bangladesh have lost their last four ODI matches as well. I'm not talking about T20. I'm talking about ODI. So
Yeah.
that can also act like an emotional setback. Three match against the West Indies and Champions Trophy warm up fixture as well against Pakistan. What does that mean? What does that mean for the squad Bangladesh?
See, the problem with Bangladesh is that they are not in a habit of winning. We've seen n number of times they come close to winning, and because they're not used to winning, they kind of end up spilling the whole thing. So Bangladesh, I think, will be looking forward. Let's go and let's try it out. See, even in the ODI World Cup match in Pune, Virat scored a century against them. So I don't think India should have a problem. But Bangladesh, I don't know. So they started off so very well at the international scene, but they seem to have kind of stagnated over the last decade or 15 years or something like that. No, and they have a good bunch of players, but they don't have kind of an exceptional leader. So probably they'll just go in it and chalo dekhte hain, ho gaya to, kind of come up. And that will be interesting about Bangladesh. But I think they've got used to not winning so much that they're just now mechanically getting into the thing. Chalo India se khel lete hain.
Unpredictability is a
Yeah.
nomenclature that sits comfortably on Team Pakistan. We are going to be talking about that game as well as we move along in this championship. Of course, that is going to be the game. But before that, do you think that this game will act as a precursor as we build up the tempo and the emotions for this particular series? India Pakistan game as well. So how do you look at this game as a build up goes? As I said in my introduction, Kabir, what is your take on this? We win against Bangladesh. We go into the next game, which is against Pakistan, with our head held high for the entire squad. What emotional advantages can Rohit Sharma's team look at if they're eyeing this victory?
I think when you're against Pakistan, I mean, it's basically like a warm up, really, this India Bangladesh game for Pakistan. That's all I feel it plays a part in. As far as emotionally, mentally, what kind of an advantage when you're against Pakistan, everything else is just sort of kept aside. It's India versus Pakistan. Everything else is forgotten. What has happened before, what is going to happen later, what is going to happen on that day, and what is going to be the result of that game. That really is what is going to be the really, I mean, the point of contention. That's what
Does
I
the
feel.
frenzy
It
of
won't
India
matter whether it's
Pakistan game,
Bangladesh or Australia.
therefore, does the frenzy of India Pakistan game completely mask the battle between Bangladesh and India? Do you feel so, or do you think, as I said before, it can act as a precursor, to heighten the thing, to take things to another level? Because if India wins this, there'll be more buzz, and therefore going into the next game, which is a high voltage game, advantage Team India.
Yeah, I think it should be, as Kabir said, it's going to be a warm up. It's not even a trailer because India Bangladesh is okay. The whole thing is India Pakistan, and I think Pakistan generally is under pressure when they are playing India because we've been playing so much, and
True.
Pakistan going through a different kind of a turmoil in their team. But they have some very good players. But this time in Dubai, we have seen earlier also in the T20 World Cup, Asia Cup also T20 in Dubai, same venue. So I think more or less the venue makes a lot of difference, and I think off late the venue and India Pakistan, that's become a very different combination altogether because it was either in India, India Pakistan, or Pakistan in India, that way. But now with Dubai becoming another center, it's a different chapter to the India Pakistan rivalry.
For someone
I
who
think
has
that
been
has
watching all
created
these
a little bit
games,
of interest over there for sure. Yeah.
for someone who's been watching all these games from close quarters, Pankaj, you visit the grounds, you are always seen in the commentary box, right alongside all these legends commenting upon the game. As I said, team unpredictable is how Pakistani side is defined. What is a term that you can liberally throw at for Bangladeshi squad? How are they defined?
I think they're emotional. They're just extremely emotional. Even when you talk to the players, also, even the ex-players. So generally, a Bangladeshi person is always going to be extremely emotional, come what may, and all sorts of emotions. So they are like not very loud, but their reaction is very emotional on everything. Even when you're doing commentary with someone, they are like so involved in it for that particular moment. They'll forget the context. They'll forget the aage ka piche ka. So Bangladeshis are generally emotional people on the field and off the field.
Any surprises there? Can anyone spring surprise? We know the potential of the Indian team. We know the advantages they have, both in terms of the way they are playing, their last series, as well as the mental advantage. But going forward, are there two, three players who can spring a surprise? India must be concerned about, in your opinion, Pankaj?
I think Bangladesh probably won't be able to make a very huge impact, but momentarily there will be a couple of players, maybe Nahid Rana, maybe Yasin Miraj in the bowling, and maybe either Mushfiqur or one of the batters will make a momentary kind of an impact. I think that is what I kind of feel may just happen to surprise. So the first, maybe in the power play, you will have Bangladesh suddenly losing a lot of wickets or making some unprecedented runs, or maybe somewhere in between the match a couple of bowlers would take a couple of back-to-back wickets. That's the only surprise I'm expecting from them.
Pankaj, I've got one
Definitely.
question for you. You
Yeah.
mentioned that the Bangladeshi crowd is purely, they play on emotions. They're very emotional, which I completely agree with. If one were to ask you, how would you describe the Indian crowd, Indian audience spectators, then what would you say? Because I mean, the emotion part is definitely there, right? So what separates us? Definitely that feeling of that we can definitely win this match also, probably.
The,
See,
the
Kabir.
allow me to butt in. The Nagin dance belonged to us. They borrowed the Nagin
Yeah,
dance from
yeah.
us. They stole it from us. It is not their copyright for sure.
No, it is our
Pankaj,
copyright.
go ahead. You were saying
Yeah.
something.
But Kabir and Pratham, what happens? See, if I call Bangladeshis emotional fans, Indians are professionally confident emotional people because we are doing well. But the only problem with the Indian fans is that we expect India to win each and every match. We don't show that
Yes,
very.
yes,
यही तो problem है. तो
exactly.
तो हम हर मैच हमको जीतना ही जीतना है. That is somewhere probably Indian fans are
So,
very unique.
Pankaj, no, this is I think a very important role for you. You need to take this up as a CSR activity in the future to make the Indian fans understand कि ऐसा possible नहीं है. ठीक है,
नहीं
हर
नहीं.
टाइम अप्रेजल नहीं मिल सकता है ऑफिस में.
See, Pratham,
Je-
Kabir is now getting emotional. Now, no, you need to tell your management that he made this statement.
Who knows? We might as well see Kabir breaking into Nagin dance next time we see him around.
No,
You
no,
never know.
you won't see that.
Yeah. But see, that's the whole new generation of Indian fans. We want to
I
win
agree.
and we should win, and then that brings about a problem when we lose. For example, what happened to us in the BGT, a lot of people were not able to digest. But it's cricket here. Come on, you win some, you lose some.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you so much for your opinions, your pearls of wisdom, of course. But going forward, I must conclude with this one. What is the margin you are looking at? This is not a T20 game. This is a 50-over game. This is ODI. So of course, I mean, victory is what perhaps all Indians are celebrating already. But nothing can be said until the last ball is delivered. But what margin are you looking at? If India bats first, are we? I mean, if we win toss, are we batting first? Should we bat first, given the track, the way it plays in Dubai? Or even if we bowl first, what margin ideally are we looking at in order to clinch this victory?
That's interesting. The Pratham is always very naughty about all these things. He's going to ask us to predict. But okay, so probably India should bat after they win the toss. We win by either 70, 80 odd runs or maybe 4 or 5 wickets.
Hmm. Hmm. And if we bowl first,
Yeah, if we bowl first, then probably we should win by about 5 wickets.
5 wickets.
Yeah.
That's a big margin, right? That's a comprehensive victory, as they say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's say Tathastu on that note. Inshallah, we win. Let's see how it unfolds. But of course, it's going to be a big game. As I said, it's not going to be a fierce contest as India Pakistan would be, but this is going to be a significant contest. This is going to be an important game in terms of how it builds up for the next few matches that are lined up as we look at the schedule. Thank you so much for your opinions, gentlemen. And I'll see you tomorrow, of course. And we are going to be talking about the high voltage game that is India versus Pakistan. We have already discussed how it is going to be unfolding in Dubai at the ICC Champions Trophy. Thank you so much for your time. I'll see you tomorrow, same time. Thank you.